Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Chem Insider. In the previous classes we have discussed about alcohol and phenol. Now from this video we are going to discuss about ethers. So in the earlier video we learnt how to prepare alcohol and phenol, and we also learnt about certain chemical reactions of alcohols and phenols. Now we'll start with ether. As I said in the first video itself, ethers are the compound which have carbon-oxygen-carbon bond. If an alkyl group or aryl group has carbon-oxygen-carbon bond of this type, then those compounds are said to be ethers. And we also have certain given their IUPAC nomenclature and classifications also. Now we'll directly start with certain methods of preparation. So ethers can be prepared by two methods, especially first one being dehydrolysis of alcohols. The first method of preparation of ethers from alcohols. Alcohols can be used to prepare ether through their dehydrolysis method. But what do we know is, when alcohols are dehydrolyzed with concentrated sulfuric acid at a given temperature, they form alkene, right? We have discussed about a property of alcohol where we treat alcohol, that is CH3, CH2OH, with concentrated H2SO4 at 443 Kelvin to form CH2 double bond CH2. This type of a product. But when you treat the same alcohol with concentrated H2SO4 but at a slightly less temperature, that is about 413 Kelvin. When you treat alcohol with concentrated sulfuric acid at 413 Kelvin, they give us ethers. That is 2 molecules of CH3, CH2OH. When treated with concentrated sulfuric acid, gives C2H5O C2H5. So this is the process of ether preparation. That is, when you treat alcohols with concentrated H2SO4 at 443 Kelvin, they give away the formation of alkene. But when you treat same alcohol with concentrated H2SO4 at slightly less temperature of 413 Kelvin, they give us ethers. This is the method of preparation. So now, how is this reaction going to take place? Usually, the first process of this alkene preparation from alcohol is SN1 mechanism, but this process is SN2 mechanism. And as we know, SN2 mechanism is largely favored by groups which are not bulkier, right? When the groups attached to the functional group OH is not bulkier, then those groups favor SN2 reaction. Therefore, what we can clearly say is, if the alcohol which you are taking is a primary alcohol, then that can be prepared to use, or that can be used to prepare respective ether. So, this method of preparation of ether from alcohol through dehydrolysis process is best suitable for primary alcohol to ether conversion. Secondary alcohol and tertiary alcohol does not support this particular reaction to be forming ethers. That is because this type of dehydrolysis preparation of ether from alcohol is an SN2 reaction, that is substitution bimolecular nucleophilic reaction. Therefore, this reaction is only useful for preparation of ether from primary alcohol, but not with secondary or tertiary. So now let us discuss about the mechanism of this particular reaction. If you start for the mechanism of this reaction, it takes place in 3 steps, where we treat alcohol with the protox solvent, that is H2SO4. The protic solvent of H2SO4 or H3SO4 converts the alcohol to protonated alcohol, and that protonated alcohol attacks an alcohol molecule. Now, in step 1, CH3, CH2, OH, CH3, CH2OH will be treating with protic solvent which has hydrogen. The lone pair of electrons on oxygen attacks the proton and forms protonated alcohol CH3, CH2, OH, H and a plus charge. In step 2, the protonated alcohol attacks the one more alcohol molecule, that is CH3, CH2, OH. So this is the protonated alcohol, and this will be attacked by one more alcohol molecule CH3, CH2, OH, which has lone pair of electron. This protonated alcohol will be attacked by the one more oxygen molecule of the next alcohol at the carbon center, which results in breaking of bond at this position. Therefore, we get the structure of CH3, CH2, O, CH3, CH2, O with H at one side and CH2, CH3 at the other. So now this oxygen will be carrying a positive charge. Now in the step 3, there involves elimination of a hydrogen where CH3, CH2, OH, CH2, CH3 will be attacked by a molecule of water, H2O, which has lone pair of electrons, and that lone pair of electrons attacks the oxygen which has a positive charge in it, and it will be losing an hydrogen atom. So thus we'll end up with forming CH3, CH2, O, CH2, CH3. So this is the mechanism through which alcohol undergoes dehydrolysis to form ether. If the temperature is slightly increased, the reaction will completely compete with the elimination process and give away the elimination reaction to form alkene. Okay, instead of going substitution reaction, if this temperature of this particular reaction is slightly increased to a temperature greater than 10 degrees Celsius, what happens is the complete process of ether formation will be competing with the alkene formation of elimination and result in formation of alkene. Okay, so this is about preparation of ether from alcohol. So if you completely consider over this reaction, we cannot prepare secondary or tertiary ether, right? Therefore, when you have to prepare secondary or tertiary ether, we can use the second method of ether preparation, that is Williamson's ether synthesis. The next process of preparation is Williamson's ether synthesis. So in Williamson ether synthesis, which is commonly used method of preparation of ether, where we treat, that is Williamson's ether synthesis. So in Williamson ether synthesis, what we do is we treat alkyl halide with sodium alkoxide. When you treat alkyl halide with sodium alkoxide, we get respective ether with the liberation of sodium halide. That is, we get ROR plus NaX. This method of preparation is called the Williamson's ether synthesis. This Williamson ether synthesis can be used to prepare primary ether, secondary ether, tertiary ether, and also phenol ethers also. So now let us consider certain examples where we are going to react this particular compound to prepare secondary or tertiary ethers. Let us take an example of alcohol. Let us say CH3, CH2X, that is a primary alkyl halide, with CH3, CH3H, ONA. Instead of X, let us take bromide. So when you treat ethyl bromide with sodium alkoxide of isopropane or secondary propane, we get CH3, CH2, O, CH3, CH2O, CH, CH3 and CH3. The noticeable point in the Williamson's ether synthesis is, if we have to prepare a secondary or tertiary ether, you should always consider that being present in the alkoxide group, which is because this reaction takes place through SN2 mechanism. This reaction takes place through SN2 mechanism, where this alkoxide ion, that is this O- ion, will be attacking the carbon compound of the alkyl halide. If this alkyl halide is bulkier in nature, then it will not support the formation of secondary or tertiary ether. Since this alkoxide O- ion attacks the carbon atom of alkyl halide through SN2 mechanism, alkyl halide should be least bulkier. That means the alkyl halide which you are going to use for the preparation of secondary or tertiary ether should be a primary alkyl halide, and the secondary sodium alkoxide compound should be, you can use either secondary or tertiary in order to prepare the complex. So now if you consider for a reaction in which if you use secondary ether, secondary alkyl halide, like for example say isobromide, isopropane. So what happens here is, when you treat CH3ONA in this reaction, when the alkoxide ion is trying to attack the bromine atom or the carbon atom of this group, bromine will try to leave the group first and forms a carbocation, and this particular reaction will undergo SN1 mechanism. Okay, if you treat a secondary or tertiary alkyl halide in this reaction, the reaction undergoes through SN1 mechanism and forms alkene C double bond CH2 CH3 plus Na Br plus CH2 CH3 OH. So this will be the reaction takes place through SN1 mechanism. That is, when you treat a secondary alkyl halide or tertiary alkyl halide with sodium alkoxide in a Williamson ether synthesis, what you are going to end up with is with an alkene. That is, the complete mechanism will be following SN1 mechanism. The complete reaction will be following SN1 mechanism, which leading to the formation of alkene along with sodium bromide and alcohol. So therefore, if we have to prepare secondary or tertiary ether through Williamson's ether synthesis, the preferred method is sodium alkoxide should carry the secondary or tertiary alkyl group, whereas the alkyl halide should be primary in nature, or else you'll end up getting an alkene instead of a secondary or tertiary ether. So this is the method of Williamson's ether synthesis. So now for one more example where you are going to prepare phenol ether. So for preparation of phenol ether, again you have to use phenol as a sodium phenoxide group. When you treat sodium phenoxide with alkyl halide, like for example CH3Cl, we get methoxybenzene, which is also called anisole. This compound is also called anisole. Okay, when you treat sodium phenoxide with methyl chloride, we are going to prepare anisole with liberation of sodium chloride. Okay, so this is the process of preparation of phenol ethers. So this is all about the preparation of ether from alcohols and phenols. Remember, you have to remember the point is, if you are treating alcohol for dehydrolysis process, if you are treating alcohol with constant H2SO4 at 443 Kelvin, that yields as alkene. If you treat the same alcohol with concentrated sulfuric acid at a slightly lower temperature, that is around 400 to 413 Kelvin, it yields as ethers. And further, dehydrolysis of alcohol is only possible for primary alcohol dehydrolysis, and it can be used to prepare primary ethers only. Dehydrolysis of alcohol does not provide secondary or tertiary ethers. And for the preparation of secondary and tertiary ethers or phenol ethers, the second method of process of preparation, that is Williamson's ether synthesis, in which the sodium alkoxide group is treated with alkyl halide to prepare ether, and in order to prepare secondary or tertiary ether, sodium alkoxide alkyl group should be the secondary or tertiary ether, and the alkyl halide group should always be a primary alkyl halide. Okay, so this is all about the preparation of ether synthesis. In the next video, we'll discuss about certain physical properties and chemical properties of ether. If you have understood the topics which I have explained today, please do subscribe to my channel and share this video among your friends. If you have any doubt related to the reactions which I have explained, please do comment down below, or you can also mail those doubts to my mail ID which I have provided in the description box. Thank you for watching.